Yes guys, we are back in the garage. It's been a while, unfortunately, but it's been a bit of a busy summer. So I've not made a couple of videos in the last couple of months, but don't worry, they're coming back. Today we got a sweet ass 67 Mustang. Check this out. This thing is well cool. Beautiful colour, beautiful wheels, beautiful interior. I'll just show you inside actually. Mega car, well cool. It's 1967. It's got a 289 Ford V8 in it. And today we're going to swap out some electronic ignition in here because the points keep closing up and it won't start. So let's crack on. So the bits we're going to be upgrading today, we're going to take off the distributor cap and install some new Pertronix ignition parts. Part number for this one is 1281, direct from the US. And upgrade the coil as well because it's a resistor coil as well, I believe. So let's take a look inside here what we get. We get the pickup and we also get the little Hall effect sensor as well. So that goes on top of the distributor shaft and then this goes in place of where the points should be. Then once we've swapped out the ignition coil down there, we can jib our wires on here and hopefully it will fire up and off we go. We're going to need to do the timing as well, don't forget. I've got my timing light at the ready. Apparently these need to be set to 6 degrees before top dead center at idle with the vacuum off, so we'll go through all that in a second. Right, I'll go grab some tools and we'll get this stuff fitted. Alrighty then chaps, first things first, whip off the distributor cap. 2 clips there and try and set her out of the way somewhere where you can actually see what I'm doing. Might be a bit difficult this. Benny Hill theme tune would be pretty good right now. Right, that looks pretty good, but I don't think you guys can see. Let me swap you round. Right, that's a little bit better, you can actually see now. Next thing, whip off the rotor arm and inside you can see we've got our points and condenser, so we need to remove all these parts first before we can put our new bits in. It looks as if that needs removing. We might still keep that. We'll take the points out, we'll take this out, take the wiring out over to there. We'll take the condenser out as well and we'll screw our screws back in where we need to be. Right then, we'll first start off by just taking out our condenser there, being careful not to drop any screws. I think I'll go and get a magnetic screwdriver just to aid, if I can bloody find one. Found one. This will help us get stuff out without dropping it. Okay, next out shall be our points. Now the chap said that he has to adjust it every time he comes to start it, which is very strange. The points keep closing up. It shouldn't really be doing that. We'll keep hold of these screws because we'll need them unless the new kit comes with some. I'm not quite sure. We'll find out. And our next screw, and then the points should be out. You can take the distributor out and do it on the bench, but if you can do it in situ, there's no need. Right, there's our third screw. Get that bugger out. At this point, we should be able to remove our wire and everything there like that. Ta-da! Like I said, we're going to disconnect this anyway, and we'll blank this as well. To make sure that the carburetor is still running okay when it fires up without the vacuum on. I think what I'll do, I'll probably leave this wire on and put that back in there just so it earths bodies and things like that. I'm not quite certain if they should still be on, but either way, our new electronic ignition pickup should fit in there nicely. Now it does have a little nipple on it at the bottom there, if you can see, and that has to sit in to a little locating hole, it says. So Let's hope that that just clicks in there and seats nicely, which it doesn't appear to be doing. I don't know why. Ah, there we go. So that's just sat in there nicely. We can get our new screw back in, and there is adjustment on this as well, so you can actually turn that. But we'll come back to that because there's a little measuring stick that you get with the kit that allows you, once you've got the spinny round thing on it, the Hall effect sender, you can actually adjust it so that it's nice and close or further away. So we'll get that screw in first, once I can find the bloody hole again. And then we'll get that thing on. Now, like I said, I'm going to keep this little wire on just to be nice. Once we get this in the hole, we can screw it down, which isn't very easy. It's quite fiddly, so if you're going to do this, make sure you don't drop your screws. There we go. So that's in there now. We need to find out a little locating hole again. There. And screw it down nicely like that. Oh baby. Looking good. Now this actually has 8 points, obviously 8 cylinder. It has 8 points on the cam lobe on the distributor shaft itself. You pick up a lot of little magnets inside here that registers, and it's also got a hexagonal sort of opening in there. So when you put it on, you give it a little twist, you feel it locate, and then it goes down. That's down snug. That means that that can now read that. We'll put this through here, like that, and we can wire up our electrics. Easy peasy. Already, fellas, appears to be quite easy this so far. So the next thing we need to do, make sure our little screw is loose. I know mine is. And we need to make sure that the air gap, according to the instructions, is between 10 thou and 40 thou from the magnet ring. I've just checked out what this is called. It's called a magnet ring. You can see that it's actually got magnets inside it, and that's what reads it. So what we're going to do is just slide in our little feeler gauge that you get with it, like that. Give a little push, and we'll tighten it down, just like that. And there we go, we got our feeler blade in there, and it fits nice and snug. So that's that set up. We can get onto the electrics and hopefully get it fired up pretty soon. Looks pretty good to me. Okay, next up, black to neg, red to pos. Dead easy. We've still got our full ignition points system here still hanging on, so we're going to take that off first, and then we can get the new terminals onto these wires. We can probably shorten them a bit as well because they're very long. So we'll get these to a nice length, and I think we'll bring them around the back here so that they route this way, so they're nicely out of the way. I think that looks pretty nice, don't you? That looks pretty good. So I'll chop these down to about there, like so. And then we'll strip these back, put the new terminals on. There's one. There's two. New coil. Don't forget your new coil. So I'm going to disconnect this one, get this one jibbed onto our little bracket down there, and we can crack on. I think, well, negatives there, positives there, positives there, negatives there on this one. So we'll make sure that we get them the right way round. Let's get this little bugger off. Just like that. I'm going to see if I can swap over the brackets as well, because this one's a little bit big and this one's a lot nicer. So I'll see if I can swap the brackets over and get that coil into there. Oh yes, that looks much better. Let's get it bolted back up, just a little 1/2 inch bolt there. And give it a little nip down. Oh, looking good. Now we can work out getting these wires back on. We can jib out a new coil, new ignition wires round from the distributor. Chuck that on. Chuck that on. Make sure they look nice. Probably cable tie them up as well to that, just to keep them out of the way of any belts or anything like that. We'll get our little nice nuts back on with some nice little lock washers. These nuts. We'll give them a nice little nip down just so that they don't come loose. 2. I think I'll just give them a little cable tie up there, just to keep them moving anywhere. If I can bloody find one. Ah, there they are. Beautiful. I think you'll agree that looks pretty cool. We're all set up. There. King lead back into the new coil. Like that. Just make sure that's tightened down nice. Just like that. Ta-da! Okay, we're almost there, fellas. Looking good. Pos, neg, they're all wired in. That's adjusted up. That's on there. Last thing we can do is chuck our rotor arm back on. Nice and secure. We can get our dizzy cap back on. Click. Click. There we go. It's installed. Okay, next thing we need to do is make sure that our timing is correct without the vacuum advance on, and then we can pop that back on when it's done, and I think we'll be good to hit the road. Now's a good time to just stand back and admire your nice installation. Next thing we need to do is timing, and this is to do with this down here. So you can see this pointer right here. We've got our pointer, and that reads numbers that are on here, if you can just about see those. So there's some numbers on here, and that's all your timing marks. So what we want with our vacuum pipe off and blocked up, I'll chuck a screw in it. What we want is this pointer here to be reading about there, third notch in, if you can just about see it there, third notch from 0. And that way we know that it's running at 6 degrees before top dead center. So let's see if she fires up and we can get our timing light out. Ta-da! We'll set that to 0 because we've obviously got timing marks on the front pulley, so we don't need to use the adjustable knob thing on there. So we'll set that to exactly 0, just like that. So yeah, let's fire it up. Oh, while I was here as well, I just had a quick look behind the carburetor. Check out what I just found. Very strange. It's the Fordridge branded beer mat. Everybody's favourite. Chuck us a nice like, chuck us a nice comment. Subscribe if you like this kind of stuff, because we've got plenty more cool stuff coming. Nice one. Fingers crossed. Beautiful. Sounds great already. Now it's going to be a little bit difficult to show you, so when I do that, you can jib the timing light on and you can see that it's flashing on those numbers down there. Now it appears to be at about 2 degrees after top dead center at the moment. We want it 6 degrees before top dead center, so I'll adjust that and I'll come back to you and show you what it looks like. Okay, so to adjust the timing, you got to just loosen off the distributor clamp ever so slightly, just so you can get a bit of movement in it. So you can see I just release it, and you can get a bit of turn. You can feel the engine pick up and die down. So next thing I'm going to do is get the timing light in down there and make sure it's 6 degrees before top dead center. Okay, so it might be a little bit difficult for you guys to see this, but I can see when I twist this distributor, the timing comes round, and we need it at 1, 2, and 3 notches in, which is 6 degrees before top dead center. And just about see it on the strobe light. We're running where we want to be. The engine speed has picked up slightly, so we can adjust that afterwards. But for now, we'll lock up our distributor because that's where it wants to be. Like so. And we'll give it a rev. Beautiful. Okay fellas, I've just given it a little bit of a tweak on the carburetor. Just got a little adjustment screw there just to reduce the idle slightly. It is still running slightly fast, but that's only because it is an automatic. And when you pop them into drive, the revs drop anyway, so you don't want it to drop too far. But we know now that it's running at 6 degrees before top dead center, which is fantastic. Our distributor's locked up. We've got our new coil on, new electronic ignition inside, and I think that's a job well done. Let's see what this thing sounds like behind, because it is a bit of a beast. Yes, real V8 American muscle, that's what I'm talking about. I don't get enough of these through the shop. I absolutely love American muscle cars. There's just something about the V8 noises and everything. Beautiful. Right, let's finish off. There we are fellas, back with the comedy microphone. That was a nice little job. It's now running absolutely beautiful. Fires up on the button, and more importantly, no more adjusting of points. You just fit and forget and off you go. So if you want to give it a bash, it's a pretty simple job if you know what you're doing. Just follow those steps. As long as you've got the right tools, you can chuck in your new ignition system and be waving off down the road. If you like this kind of stuff, chuck us a nice subscribe down below please, because I'm over 1,000 followers now, which is absolutely fantastic. And yeah, like I said, plenty more to come. There's this beetle here. That'll be started next week. We'll do a nice little fire up on it. Not been run for 10 years. So we're going to chuck a battery on it and see what happens. So yeah, cheers dudes. Adios. America.